Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about drones, and mainly two-part systems that game use to solve puzzles or solve problems they are facing. Our game features a drone much like this one from Rainbow Six Siege. This drone is something that the player is able to take control of while their character stands wherever they left them, and will allow them to go around the map with their camera to set it up and get vision on incoming enemies or objectives. Carefully choosing when and where you set your drone so that it isn't seen is a very big part of the strategy within this game. If the drone is spotted, enemies can shoot it and destroy it, thus removing the extra vision that you once had, so you have to be very thoughtful about how you take on this portion of the game. It is very compact and able to traverse through smaller areas and get a better viewing angle of the map. They use this two-part system in their first-person shooter to be able to more safely scout out their surroundings without being killed or seen. This is a very good addition to a first-person shooter, whereas without it, players would have to blindly go in and hope they see someone before they get shot first. This adds complexity and strategy to the game, and that is our plan with our game. Next up, we have Ratchet and Clank, which you can see here. He uses his robot companion so that he can fit into a small drain pipe, which Ratchet cannot fit into, to infiltrate and open up the entrance to the facility. Much like our game, we will use our companions' different set of skills, mobility, and size to finish a certain portion of a puzzle. They use both of these characters to implement a different type of puzzle based on their separate abilities, and makes place only accessible to one or the other, so that they have more possibilities when it comes to puzzles and map design. This makes it more interesting for the player, and for both characters to shine with their strengths and weaknesses, since they rely on each other to complete puzzles. Limiting yourself to one character can be fine, but I find that when there are multiple ways to control a puzzle, it feels more rewarding when you find the right combination of the two to complete it. Our game will emphasize the fact that we have two separate playable characters much like this one, and we'll use both of their strengths and weaknesses together to complete puzzles and the game. Last but not least, we have Star Child. Star Child is a VR game that is soon to release, but when I first saw it, it had a lot of similarity to how our drone is working. You activate it when you are prompted to, and only when you're prompted to, and the drone can reach higher places and smaller crevices that the player wouldn't normally be able to get to. They have the drone fulfill rather simple tasks to complete the puzzle, but without it, the player would not be able to progress. The drones' controls are rather simple since they only have a couple of simple tasks, and allows the player to engage with the environment in ways that they would have never originally thought of doing, much like Ratchet and Clank. It opens up so many new avenues for puzzles and how to solve them when you add this secondary part to it, and keeps the players on their toes when they have to think how they're going to resolve these upcoming puzzles. They make it so they rely on one another, again like Ratchet and Clank, which is what we strive to do in our puzzle game. We take a lot of these mechanics and apply these to our game and compare them to make sure that we are able to implement and use a two-part slash drone system that will make the puzzles more complex and engaging for the player, rather than leaving it to just one character and limiting the possibilities. Thank you for your time. My name is Jacob Roberts, and this was my competitive analysis.